Hello and welcome. Today we're looking at within sentence punctuation on the SAT writing and language section. As always, we're going to be looking at 5 questions. We're going to look at the intricacies of these questions to help you ace the SAT writing and language section. If you like these videos or find them informative, please be sure to like and subscribe. And with that, let's get started on our first question. Here it is. A 4-year program in turf management can lead to jobs other than the high-profile position of stadium manager. The degree can actually qualify one for a variety of careers: golf course superintendent, park and commercial grounds manager, or independent landscaping business owner. Well, let's see. This right here is an independent clause. Right? The degree can actually qualify one for a variety of careers. That's also an independent clause. And this is an independent clause. So how are we going to put that together? Well, this and this part and this part are independent clauses. They have to be joined by a semicolon, not a comma. So you can cross out the ones with a comma. And then these two are also independent clauses, so they have to be connected with a semicolon, not a comma. So we get rid of that. This one, we connecting them with the colon. You can do that. Colons are used to set up other parts, and colons can be used to connect two independent clauses. That's how they are used. So that's our answer. Let's continue on. All right. Mark Twain's A Presidential Candidate announces a false run for America's highest office. In this satirical piece, Twain mocks political campaigning and owns up in advance to all the wickedness he has done. All right. That one was interesting, but let's see what we can do. The first part, Mark Twain's A Presidential Candidate announces a false run for America's highest office. This right here is a independent clause. So we're going to separate it using a semicolon or with a pair of commas, but let's see. And then the second part, in this satirical piece, Twain mocks political campaigning and owns up in advance to all the wickedness he has done. Well, we still need the semicolon. This one is the only one with the semicolon. This one, semicolon's too late. This one, the dash and the comma just don't go together. And this one has this pair of commas that is not suitable for independent clauses. Our answer is D. Let's keep going. All right, in 1943, Captain Jacques Cousteau helped French engineer Emile Gagnon to develop a breathing regulator for the scuba or self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. All right, so this part right here is an independent clause. To develop a breathing regulator for the scuba, that's a dependent clause. So we can't connect them using a semicolon. We can't connect them using a colon. Let's see what we can do. In 1943, Captain Jacques Cousteau helped French engineer Emile Gagnon to develop a breathing regulator. Well, if we put a comma, helped French engineer Emile Gagnon to develop. Well, that sounds a bit, that doesn't sound right. But if we just don't put anything in there, that does sound right. It flows. So that's our answer. Let's keep going. Precrastination is the drive to complete tasks immediately than to get them out of the way faster. It is considered a possible method to combat procrastination, which can be exacerbated as tasks pile up. All right. So precrastination is the drive to complete tasks immediately to get them out of the way faster. Independent clause. So we shouldn't, and then it is considered a possible method to combat procrastination, which can be exacerbated as tasks pile up. Also an independent clause. So we can't use a comma, and we can't use a semicolon, then which it should be just a semicolon or just a colon. So if we put the semicolon in there, then we have it is considered a possible method to combat procrastination. Well, what does the it refer to? We don't really know. But if we put the colon, then we're setting that part up. It is considered a possible method to combat procrastination, which can be exacerbated as tasks pile up. That seems to work. That seems to be correct as setting it up. So that seems to be our answer, but it actually isn't our answer because it's used to set off things. Right? You see, that's what we said. It's used to set off things, while semicolons are just used to link the two independent clauses. Semicolons are essentially periods. Right? See what you do put if you put a period in there. Procrastination is the drive to complete tasks immediately to get them out of the way faster, period. It is considered a possible method. Colons are used to set off things, as we said before, right? That we're not setting off anything, we're just continuing another clause. We're continuing that idea. So our answers are going to be B or semicolon. And then here we are, and our question is, the National Park Service manages federal lands for public recreational use and travel, including popular national parks such as Glacier, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon. Well, federal lands and for public recreation and use and travel, we can't really have a comma in there. We're trying to say manages federal lands for public recreational use and travel. No comma. Doesn't seem that we want a semicolon or a colon in there, since for public recreational use and travel, including this, is a dependent clause. So we can't use these two, and our answer is then just C. Right, so as you can see here, this topic is consisting mainly of just finding whether things are independent or dependent clauses, and using what we know about colons, about semicolons, about dashes, about commas, and about just leaving no punctuation, and using that in order to find which types of punctuation should we put with which clauses. That is it for within sentence punctuation. That is it for this topic, and I'll see you next time.